It's it's time to get busy. A formal welcome, formal hello to everyone on all platforms. We are now live. This is G Forte. I am the host of the Morning Journal. This is session number 156. We already got a nice conversation going over on Spoon. Um, I'm glad to have you all here. We already in the top 10 over there. First thing in the morning, at least for a second, we flashed up in there. I'm excited to learn more about what's been going on in your life. So let's get into it. I want to check in with you, figure out, what went down for y'all this weekend. And I say that with the understanding that it would have been cool had I taken a second to find um to find what can I say? Uh let me just cancel that. Let me give me a second. Oh, Berlin is over on YouTube. I certainly appreciate that. The question that we're going to start with is, what was the most memorable moment of your weekend? What was the most memorable moment of your weekend? Let me put up a request box for that. Memorable moment, memora. Can I spell memory? I can't spell this morning. All right. The request box is open. Let us know what was your most memorable moment of the weekend. I hope that you did at least have a few moments to enjoy yourself a little bit. Anyhow, a little bit, you know. Good morning, Tree. Welcome in. It's good to see you. As always, thank you so much for joining. Let me give Tree some powers. I just need 1 second to find. That was the one prompt that I didn't hunt down before the session started. So we got to scroll through the hundreds and thousands of prompts to find it. But if you're in here now, you can go ahead and start answering. We only have a few more weekends in the year. Miraculously, 2021 is almost over. Somehow. All right. And if y'all don't mind, if you can just let me know, um, I'm set up a little bit differently. So let me know if you can hear everything okay. If, I don't know. I'm constantly tinkering, right? I can't leave well enough alone. I got to keep trying to do stuff to try to make it comfortable as I sit here. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Ryo, welcome in. Essa says, I'm done. I'm done with this year. So for Demon, the most memorable moment of the weekend was playing Xbox with my friends. Memorable moment of the weekend was playing. What game did you play, Demon? What game did you play? What's up, Marks? Good morning. We're talking about the most memorable, the most memorable moment of the weekend. And Demon played some Xbox. That's what's up. Playing Sea of Thieves on Xbox. That's what Demon's doing. Well, I mean, if we got to take care of our bodies, Marks. So if you had a nice little movement of your bowels, I mean, that's personal, but it's valid. It's valid. I mean, shout out to the functions of your body, I guess. All right. So for Noble Ancient, we have the most memorable moment of last weekend was when I realized a change at work, where I changed my thinking and now conquer at work because of it. You conquer at work because of change in your thinking. Hey, Marks, thanks so much for the like. I appreciate it. Love to see those float up. It's nice when the plan comes together, right? You evolve in your thinking, and your life gets better as a result. I can appreciate that for sure. Mark says, um, Mark said, I'd like to know if you'd like an opportunity to video stream. I'm video streaming right now. I'm actually live on all platforms, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. I'm video streaming right now, you dig? But yeah, you can hit me up, send post a note. All right, let's see. Mark said for pay though, for actual pay though. So you can hit me up, Monks. I think you know how to reach me. So for Alexis, the memory last minute stream. I mean last minute stream. Now you got me confused, Marks. Thanks. Doing last minute shopping for an upcoming trip and doing some self care was a memorable moment for the weekend for Alex for Alexis. So for anyone who's trying to reach me, all of if you go to my profile, all my stuff is connected and linked, or hit the notice board, all that type of stuff. Yeah, man, I don't know. I can't. It's Monday morning. It's always a little something on a Monday morning. Good morning, Dot. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. So we got Aunt Capone. We got Aunt Capone in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Aunt. I don't know if anybody's here old enough, been around long enough to know who Aunt Capone is, but he's listening in right now, checking us out on YouTube. All right. So Alexis with the self-care and some shopping. We got Eso. Eso is on the vibe of Sunday, drinking wine with my grandparents, still buzzed off wine with grandma and grandpa them. Oh man. It's nice when you can break bread with your elders and celebrate, have libations or whatever. That's cool. It makes you feel grown, right? You sit around, you with grown folks, you doing grown folks type things. It's validating when it's like you're not a little girl anymore. So they'll sit down and have some wine with you. All right. Love that. So for Berlin, says the most memorable moment was reaching 1.7K, and now I'm almost at 1.8. Ugh, super pumped. Got a new video coming out. So yeah, absolutely. We got DT Dub, DT Dub TV, you know, really growing that YouTube channel. And I always appreciate you being here, Berlin. All right. So if you're listening on another platform and we're going to let us know, just drop it in chat. What was the most memorable moment of your weekend? So for Tree, G helping me out downloading some editing software. I played around with it and I'm just so excited to start filming. I will officially start filming on Tuesday, and Mama Tree better be ready. So Tree is starting a YouTube channel as well, as you know, with Mama Tree. So that's certainly going to be fun. Can't wait to see how that evolves. You know, it's interesting, right? I love it though. Love it though. Tree and Mama Tree on YouTube. All right. Well, it looks like a lot. Y'all had a pretty decent weekend. A lot of y'all had some. Dot met someone special. I love that. DT Dub TV says that I really appreciate your morning journals, man. I love that. And I appreciate y'all. So I think, yeah, speaking of YouTube, let's talk about YouTube for a second. And looking at Trees and Mama Tree's YouTube channel, there's going to be a lot of drama. I think that you should rotate all day, every day. You should just have a camera set up, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of funny things that happen just as you navigate the unique situation um, that you're in with your mom, with them. That whole thing is a whole movie, I'm sure. So just be rolling cameras, because that's what we really want to see. People love drama more than they love Raymond, you dig? So keep them cameras rolling. All right. So let me see here. Okay. Let's get ready to go. If y'all ready, we can get ready to go into the first prompt. But I think it's interesting. Tree says that her mom thinks that it's all about her garden. It is about her garden. It is about a garden, like the garden as a metaphor for all the things. uh, it's just, yeah, the garden is just a placeholder for, um, that's just, the garden is the setting. The real story is the interaction and the people. That's what we all going to keep tuning in for every week. All right. All right. So it's Monday, and I feel like maybe we might be okay now. It's taking me a couple minutes to get myself situated, but I think we're ready to go to our first prompt. If that's the case, go ahead and drop me a heart in the chat, and we can get started with that. All right. Okay. Berlin's going to give me a shout out on that next video. That's what's up. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So our first order, the first thing we're going to do is let's talk about biting off more than we can chew. And I think that's not, I'm not going to say that's relevant to me right now. Because, I mean, I think I can handle it. But I think there's sometimes cases where we are, we got a few things going on, you dig? Biting off more than you can chew. Let's start the conversation there. Look over your recent experience, or maybe you've grown up and you recognize what your capacity is. But think about a time that you bit off more than you can chew. And just to, how can I say, in case you're not familiar with that turn of phrase, it's basically mean, you know, you underestimate the you underestimate the what's required to get something done, or you underestimate the time and effort. You get all, you get all hyped up in the moment and get swept away. And it's not a statement necessarily of what your real capacity is, because we are capable of a lot. I mean, we're capable of much more than we tend to give ourselves credit for. It's really just a matter of understanding the timing. It's a matter of patience so often. It's not that we can't do it, it's just that we don't have a decent grasp on what that effort looks like. So, Bex is here. Thank you so much for the like, Bex. I appreciate you. So, here's our first response to this. I guess you could say could be a little bit of a um, provocative question. We have Noble says, when I worry about others' problems, and I don't have any reason to, I'm out here worrying about other people. And there's no reason for me to do that. I think it's always, yeah, you have to understand we, it feels good to be helpful, right? I think it's valuable to be, um, I think it's a kind of a function of relationships, right? When we are connected with someone, um, sometimes it's pleasant. It actually feels good to be of service to other people. But sometimes we can get lost in it, right? It can get a little deep. Waiting for Berlin with the pause buttons. Good morning, Sonic. Thank you so much for being here. I said it get a little deep. Berlin's will say pause, pause, pause. All right. So Alexa says, going to the PO box and finding a full box of pen pal letters when I'm already backlogged in writing. Going to the PO box and finding it full of pen pal letters. It's like, oh boy. So just a question out of curiosity, how many active pen pals are we working with right now? How is that looking? Because I think that I mean, I think that it's cool. It's cool to have those connections, you know? You got 14 pen pals. Okay. 14 pen pals. Okay. There we go. But you know, I think sometimes if you just have one, it can be a little bit fraught to be completely dependent on one person. If they don't write you back, and then you don't have nothing going on. But you know, now it's your job. You got a full-time job just responding to pen pal letters. So biting off more than you can chew. I think sometimes one of the reasons that we do that is sometimes it's ego. Like we have a not so clear understanding or appreciation for, like, we don't necessarily know who we are for real. It's like uh, we have a distorted sense of our um yeah, we just think we all that when nah, not necessarily. I mean, you cool, but yeah, I mean, Berlin says, I've bitten off more than I can chew when I tried some Ghost Reaper strips, ended up tearing up and vomiting, still went back to finish the meal though. It's a savage moment. Yeah, you're like, I got it. Everybody's looking at you. I think, you know, sometimes we get swept up in our current emotional state. And I think that we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Sometimes we make choices that are overly influenced by how we happen to be feeling at this very moment. Like we get swayed, you know, we feel froggy, so we jump. Um, but I think that there are a lot of things that we can do to avoid those unfortunate things that kind of waste a lot of our time and energy and take us away from the path. So I think it's a worthwhile question anytime you get ready to, when you consider, um, or when you're thinking about adding something to your plate. It's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, what does this decision, what does making this decision mean in terms of all the other things that I've already committed to? Good morning, lovely Lena. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about biting off more than we can chew, having a, I don't know, having an accurate take on what our current capacity is, on what it is that we really have room for, on what matters. All right. So here we go. So for everyone who is on other channels, we're thinking about, oh, I didn't have that one. Good. So on the other end of biting off more than you can chew is the idea of finishing something. Berlin says, gee, you not nervous being on camera? No, I'm not nervous on camera. I'm just getting comfortable with my setup. So I'm kind of looking around. I got the prompts inside here. So, you know, I'm just getting a feel for the way I have things set up now. Chadwack, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. If y'all ready for the next prompt, well, let's get into it. Lovely Lena, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for the love. Love to see those hearts floating up on the screen. All right. Vida Hermosa, welcome in. It's great to have you this morning. Thank you for joining us. All right. Our next question. What have you recently finished? So, on the opposite end of biting off more than you can chew is the idea of finishing something significant and worthwhile. So, everyone, go ahead and say hi to my mom. My mom is on listening on Facebook. So go ahead and drop some green hearts. Let's do green hearts for my mom. Green's her favorite color. So load up your green hearts. Spam the stream with green. So as we're thinking about that, think about, of course, maybe you finished a meal. There's some small things, but as you answer this question, as you think about this question, think about something that is sort of personally significant for you. Something that you finished that was personally significant somehow. Let me open up the request box. I don't know. Let's see. Finishing is underrated. Finishing is so underrated. I think that the amount of like bandwidth that we free up when we actually, when we actually get something done, it's hard to quantify. And I think one of the things that makes it difficult to finish is you get excited about a new thing that started. You get kind of caught in the middle of a difficult project and it stops being fun. And it's much easier to jump to something else and, run to the new thing. But actually finishing something, like really putting a bow on it and shipping it for real, that's where all of the growth happens. We can fall in love with new ideas, new opportunities, new things that are on the horizon, and it kind of the world kind of conspires to keep us chasing the next new thing. You're always being pushed on and pulled on by messages from all over the place, shiny objects twinkling in your peripheral vision all day. The next hot thing, the next new thing, everybody is vying for your attention. But nothing beats finishing. It's like, boom, that's done. So for Noble recently finished the first of a series of expansions for my latest game project, Random Dungeon, and got Random Dungeon where I wanted to. Significant to me. Yeah, that's significant. There are a lot of one of the things that also conspires to against our finishing is our perfectionism, right? So A lot of times as we get close to finishing, we start to notice all the flaws. We start to nitpick and think of all the different ways that, well, maybe I could make it better this way. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I can do that. All the second guesses start coming into play. Summer is here. Welcome in, Summer. Noble is continuing saying, if I change it this way, it'll be better. Yeah, yeah, it'll be better, but it might never be, right? At some point, right? You have to rein yourself in. So, Summer, it looks like you might be new or at least new to this experience. I'm glad to have you. Welcome. This is Morning Journal. We do this every Monday through Friday, right about this time, 6 a.m. Eastern. Right now, we're talking about stuff that we finished. What have we recently finished that's significant to us? I think that sometimes it's hard to even plug into what we actually finished because we are preoccupied with everything that we are in the middle of. Nick's Rocks, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. It's been a minute. Nice to see you. What's something that you recently finished? Noble just needs to write the rules now, and you'll have the game that you want. That's exciting. That's exciting. One of the interesting things about, or one of the interesting advantages of creating in the modern space is that when things are digital, they are not permanent. Like you can update, you can edit. Noble is making tabletop games, so the stakes are a little bit higher because once it's done, and you got to ship it. And whatever happens to exist in that version is going to be what the world sees. So I can appreciate Noble's care and attention to making sure things are right. So Summer says, I finished a toxic relationship and moved on from a narcissist. That's good news. That's good news. Yeah, 50 Cal has joined us. Welcome in, 50 Cal. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for being here. Let us know something that you recently finished. Tree says, I almost finished. Okay, we'll take that. But the only project I was working on is a cookbook for Jovi. Hope to send it before Christmas. I hope this kind of counts. No, it doesn't count because you haven't finished it. It counts when Jovi opens the package. Well, I mean, you have to think though, Tree, because you're in school right now, you're constantly finishing projects and you're working on stuff constantly. So you need to give yourself some credit for that. Welcome in, Wallace. Somebody coming in with some crass names. CEO, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. All right. So Alexis has finished getting my schedule set for my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday streams. That's what's up. All right. So let me take a second. Hello, Harley. So there's a bunny listening. So let me say hi to Harley the bunny. Thanks for listening in, Harley. I know you got some really cool folks taking care of you. You're a good bunny. So Berlin recently finished the Outlast 2 series on my channel. Thank goodness, man. I'm not cut out for the scary games. All right, for sure. Old Pony is here. Welcome in, Old Pony. Let us know something that you recently finished. Hold on, let me load up. Let me load up some Radiohead for Old Pony. So Berlin has been doing a series of games. I'm excited to see. Have you announced what you're going to do next? Oh, Pony is getting ready for work. That's what's up. Oh man, I love Radiohead, but can you play a good Radiohead song? All right. So I think that one thing to keep in mind is that finishing is a skill. It's a skill. Queeds is here. Welcome in, Queeds. It's good to see you this morning. Nick's Rock says, I don't have any current projects. I'm always at work or sleeping. All right. Taking a breath here. Okay, we're 41 minutes in. My sense of time is really thrown off right now. Because let me know if you've been here since. Does it seem like we already 40 minutes into this to you? If you're, does it seem like that to you? It doesn't to me. It's just been. I don't. It's weird. Heaven World, thank you so much for joining us. All right. So the next question, if we're ready for it, let me know. Drop a heart in the chat if you're ready to go to the next question here. I see one from Bex. So let's check it out. All right, here we go. It's like hearts are not in my recents. Why are you asking me for stuff? It's not in my recents. I gotta dig. All right. This one's a little bit tough. It might hit a little bit heavy, but give it some thought. What have you lost enthusiasm for? Let me reset the request box. John Clarence, welcome in. It's great to have you this morning. What have you lost enthusiasm for? So this prompt is a little bit tied to an earlier piece of the conversation. When we're talking about biting off more than we can chew, a lot of times when we do that, we're over it. We end up being sort of over. We played ourselves a little bit, So Fun Ghoul, welcome in. Thank you so much. So what have I lost enthusiasm for? I think that there are some things you can just quit, but then there are other things that we know in the long run that we just kind of need to Stay the course on. Some weird girl is here. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. So, old pony has lost enthusiasm for finding a life partner. Wow. Broken hearts in the chat for old pony. Lost enthusiasm for the life partner. It's like I'm out the game. Hmm. So Vita Hermosa says that you are lost enthusiasm for your relationship with your ex. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Shout out to Old Pony. Shout out to Vita Hermosa. All right. So Quee says it's a little sad, but I've lost enthusiasm for my life partner. Still in love, but we need some work. Oh man. Old Pony is laughing. He's like, I'm sad, but this um it's funny. It's good that you can, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just want to appreciate where everybody is with this right now. I wasn't expecting a lot of relationship responses, but hey, it is what it is, right? Vita says that the butterflies are a perfect representation of letting go and new life. Hmm. Quasha is here. Welcome in, Quasha. Thank you much. Thanks so much for joining us. Iggy says also not meeting my soulmate. Hmm. All right. So if you're watching on another platform, you weren't able to hear the music that was playing. We were playing Air Supply. I know it was kind of quiet. but I feel like I needed to let folks in the chat kind of just sit with what they were feeling. Um, so I'm glad that there's still hope. Quasha says, I've lost enthusiasm for marriage. Someone anonymously shared that I've lost enthusiasm for food. I hardly eat anymore and don't really cook. So, what have you lost enthusiasm for? We have Tree, lost enthusiasm for popcorn and cheese. Popcorn and cheese. It hurts my stomach. Do you mean together or just these are two foods that you lost enthusiasm for? Let me know. Is that I lost enthusiasm for popcorn just because of how it gets to my teeth. That's my vibe with the popcorn. So so Iggy says I've lost enthusiasm for finishing school, but I know I got to get through it. I know I got to get through it. Welcome back, Berlin. It's like my bad. I lost connection for a second. Alexis says that I've lost enthusiasm for adulting. I think I just need one day to little and then I'll be fine. But adulting is not as fun as I imagined it would be when I was a kid. I just want to be little. I just want a little for a day. Oh man. Beck says adulting is trash. All right. Someone anonymously says that I've lost enthusiasm for a better person, for being a better person. It's like somebody's just gonna embrace their villainy, I suppose. Say, I'm just gonna embrace this villainy. It is what it is. It is what it is. Vita Vita Hermosa says, I lost enthusiasm for going out years ago. But Beck says the drinking part's fun though. Beck's wanna pull up. Not pull up, that's the wrong way to put it, I guess. Todd Pittman is here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. All right. Someone anonymously says, needlessly anonymous, I'm not going to out you because I think we all know who you are just by the way that you said that. But you said girls, the you know is a dead giveaway, but we'll act like we don't know. We'll act like we don't know who said that. So Sonic says that I lost enthusiasm for exploring the combinatorial explosion of recombination. The combinatorial explosion of recombination, whatever that means. I think I know what it means. I'm not going to say, but I think I know. Oh, man. So someone anonymously shared that I lost the desire to go shopping, restaurants. COVID has ruined a lot of outdoor activity and spending time with family and friends. I'm just over it. Yeah. I think it's amazing how quickly we can normalize whatever situation we're in. It just becomes, okay, that's what it is. This is what life is like right now. So I'm okay with life being like this. It just is what it is. Cool Mushroom is here. Thank you for joining us. We got a lot of cool folks in here right now. I'm glad. I'm glad for it. So lost enthusiasm. We have Noble. Noble says, I can't say that I've lost enthusiasm. If anything, I have a lot of reasons for the opposite. I've gained enthusiasm. Applause in the chat for Noble. He says, we out here winning. If anything, I am more enthusiastic than I was before. Love that for you. So for a lot of us, the things that we were talking about that we kind of lost the enthusiasm for, some of them are healthy. Like we were in a situation where we were not attached in a way that is useful for us. We are attached to things that bring us harm. And we lost the desire to stay connected to those things. And that's a good thing. Kaloli is here. Welcome in, Kaloli. Thank you for joining us. Lowly Needles. Some of us have lost enthusiasm for things that might actually add to our life and our experience if we could somehow get over the hump. Some of the things we've lost enthusiasm for are important deep down, but it's just in the moment we don't feel that same connection. But I think that enthusiasm is kind of connected to your emotional state. So it's important to be clear and to, clarify why it is you started in the first place. Because, your emotions will swing from day to day. And just because you're not necessarily feeling something right now, it doesn't mean that you just universally don't care about that thing. It's just the emotion of the moment. The same thing that gets you to bite off more than you can chew because of you have a certain way that you feel. Sometimes the way that we feel can have us abandon things that matter. And, it's just a matter of moving through some fear and some discomfort and having a sense of clarity about actually why, though. Like, why is it that I'm doing this? So on the days when I don't feel like it, I can go back and remind myself, oh yeah, this matters. Like This matters more than how I feel about doing it right now. So, yeah. So let's think about let's assume let's assume or focus on those things that we can agree would be good for us or that have some deeper significance in our experience. And let's focus on those for a second and think about ways that we can navigate our fluctuating emotional state and actually, um, yeah, actually get somewhere productive. All right. So we get into sort of the practical, gets into some practical ideas here. Welcome in, Fat Bella. Um, what are some practices or routines that help you get into a productive or creative zone? What are some of those practices that can get you into a productive or creative zone? Hey, Mo, welcome in. It's good to see you. I think that we may be able to help each other. When you have something that you need to do or have something that you know would be good to do and you don't feel like doing it right now for whatever reason, how do you overcome that? What are some things that you do? What's worked before? Fat says, are we singing? No, we're not singing. Emma, thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate it. So Noble found some wild raccoons on my way home and thought of Emma. I think most raccoons that you find will be wild. Just kind of it's just kind of how they come out the box. Pretty much they're wild. Bella, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate you. All right, let me see here. You're in a rut. What do you do? What's a routine? I know a lot of times there are cues that I use, like my cup of coffee in the morning is like a part of my routine. It's like, okay, time to get to work. Let me get this coffee. Let me sit down. Let me enjoy this. And then even, and then maybe I can break through that little bit of resistance that's keeping me from getting going. Underrated Soul says, you have a very comforting voice. It was nice listening to you as I get ready for work. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you are here. I hope I hope that you have a great day at work. Of course, you say something about my voice and I have to clear my throat in your ear. All right. See what we got here. So for Berlin, what gets you in the zone is watching others' content and or looking at the stats on my channel. So you're very analytical. It's like, okay, let me see what's going on here. Let me get these numbers right. For sure. When you have something that's really quantifiable, it's good that you can kind of tap into that. And you can look to others to find inspiration, taking notes. So for Noble, getting in the zone, it looks like finding opportunities and chance thinking. Let me see if I can make sense. Finding opportunities and chance thinking allows me to get in the zone, so to speak, and then I want to build. I might need a little bit of help with that one, Noble. I might not have read that right. So Berlin says, I look at the numbers too much. Yeah, it can be, you know, there's a limit to you have to kind of balance it, right? At some point you got to, okay, put it away. So for Alexis, what uh, helps you get into a productive and creative zone is playing Realms of Armistice with Noble. It gives me the focus for the rest of the week and helps my emotional stability. Plus, I get uninterrupted time with my life partner. So, playing together, honing your focus on something, that does seem like a very restorative habit. Berlin has a question. Why, Berlin says, why are women only allowed to be managers in here? Oh, Berlin. I don't know what to tell you, Berlin. Oh, man. Some weird girl is back, Diane. Vida Hermosa. Thank you so much for being here, folks. We're talking about things that get us in a creative and productive zone. Playing a game, playing Realms of Armistice specifically. So for EE, here's some stuff for you. Brush my teeth and shower twice a day. Have a good cry if that's what I need to do. Wear my favorite jewelry. Talk to God with my whole heart. Drink tea. Wear PJs to school. Drink a gallon of water. Love that. There you go. It's good to know, like, I think one of the values, and I always plug the importance and the value of journaling, whether you're doing it here in a guided situation or just having a way of checking in with yourself. Once you do something, once you notice yourself um, feeling better, or your energy levels increase, you might want to take note of what it is that's been going on, so that when you don't feel that way, you have some strategies that you can go back to. Might not work every time, so it's nice to have. Any one given one might not work every time, but if you like EE, you got a whole list of possibilities and things that you can work through. All right. Let's see what we got here. We have for Tree, to get in that zone, listen to music or watch videos that inspire me, that I can learn from. Then I make my tea, coffee with a cup of water, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, that's a that sounds like a plan. Anything is better than just languishing, you know. Any little move, you know. And I'm wondering, is there, do you have like a playlist? Sometimes when, if you have music, if music is your thing that you use to bring yourself to a creative place, do you have like a playlist that you can go to or a specific album? I think the more specific you are, the better when it comes to considering these things. So we're talking about the zone. Tree has a playlist of instrumentals. I know I use music as well. I low key, a lot of times, like when I need to work on stuff, I use the same playlist that that I play in here during the stream. Like when I'm doing my prep, a lot of times I'll just put on one of the daily playlists that I use in here, and it kind of gets me into the zone of working on stuff. So one of the things that, as you get ready to get into, for Tree specifically, as you get ready to get into like editing your videos and stuff like that, you really can't listen to anything while you're doing it, because you have to pay attention to like the you have to pay attention to the sound and the clips that you're working on. I used to think, I used to think I could listen to music, and I can definitely listen to the instrumentals while I'm writing, but any editing, I have to kind of have silence. So Quasha says, for me, is having a warm drink, a prayer beforehand, and a positive mindset. Sometimes music and talking, OTP, depending on what I'm doing. Let me know what OTP is. I know what OPP is. All right, Noble will be right back. That's what's up. All right. So we got, oh, Pony says, reading positive things, talking to positive people, talking with God, exercise, music, a clear room equals a clear mind, tea, and a good breakfast starts the day right. Y'all have some really great strategies to get yourself in the zone. Next, ask the hard hitting question we all want to know: are you down with OPP? That's what Nick's Rocks is trying to figure out. Welcome back, Fat. Thank you so much. Queez says, I'm out. All right, Queez. Enjoy the rest of your day if that's what you're saying. So Fat says, knowing that I'm being judged by inner and not my outer. So I just pray and follow my heart. I pray and follow my heart. Mm. Underrated Soul says, I typically talk with people. It could be a friendly passing chat or a sit down, getting opinions on things and ideas from my interaction with others. It inspires me. So seeking connection helps you get into a creative and productive zone. And I guess that implies the significance and importance of having those relationships in place ahead of time, or at least having the openness and the courage to go out and seek those conversations. You recognize that you need it as a part of as a part of a restorative and supportive practice so that you can pursue the things that matter the most to you. Can appreciate that. So Vida Hermosa says, prayer and music, those are practices that help you. So as we are thinking about these things, I guess the question comes to mind like, okay, there's a lot of wisdom in a lot of these practices, and we have our experience, we have our proof that they work in our experience. It's just a matter of, okay, how committed am I to these practices? Are they a resort that I go to? Are they a last resort once things start falling apart? Do I try to do that? Or is it something that we use as a means of maintenance? They say, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. If you keep it together, you know, you don't have to wait until you fall apart. So Dot says, my thoughts and emotional state, they help me to get writing. So checking in with what your state is. And once you occlude in, you can use that as inspiration. Appreciate it. Bisque for now is here. Thank you for joining us. So looking at, thinking about that, what Dot was saying, recognizing your thoughts and emotional state. What are we doing as we notice? It's like a lot of people have I haven't seen it listed here explicitly, but for some folks, meditation is a part of a practice. And I think that it is one of the more effective ways to notice, notice your thoughts, notice your state in a way that you're not necessarily attached to them. It's true in so many cases that however we feel is not the problem. It's our attachment to that feeling that's the problem. So for Bex, it's baths. It's like a reset. Get in the tub. So these are all routines and practices that can get you into a productive and creative zone. And I guess in thinking about that, if you can draw a connection between those things and from before, the things that we lost enthusiasm for, we might have a, a misapprehension of the value of things that we used to do and don't do anymore, things that we've abandoned that we would be well served to revive in terms of what matters in our life. If if you look back and you recognize that there's something important that you don't necessarily feel the energy and enthusiasm to approach, but you have an inkling that if you could manage to, engage, it would make your life better in the long run, then thinking about these practices and routines to shift your emotional and energetic state, if you can do that, it might give you just enough momentum to get started. And it's a miracle in a way that some of the things we least want to do, if we get started just like 10 minutes into it, it's actually perfectly fine. Like, you know, we were worried about it. We weren't feeling it. But 10 minutes in, it's like, yeah, I mean, this is cool. And then in some cases, it goes even further and it's actually enjoyable. Not only is it fine, but it's actually enjoyable. It feels good. And then you start questioning, well, what was I worried about? You know, why was I holding back? Why was I procrastinating? This is actually pretty cool. So Noble gives the insight that my emotion is mine. I am not my emotion. Oh boy, it's snowing, folks. It's snowing. Thank you so much, Tree. I really appreciate the snowflake floating up over the fall sky, the Christmas trees. Beautiful. Thank you so much. That's gorgeous. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Everybody bundle up. Bundle up. It's cold outside. All right. If we are ready, I think we can go to the next prompt as Tree continues to make it snow. It's all summer in Texas, so you need some snow. I hear you. All right, let's see what we got here. Again, thank you so much, Tree. I really appreciate that. Making it snow is keeping you awake. I could dig that. Whatever it takes, I guess. But of course, maybe sleep is what you need. Sheldon is here. Welcome in, Sheldon. Thanks for joining us. All right, let me reset this request box and let's talk about this one. This question: how are you keeping score? We'll let Tree handle the weather situation that we're in right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. How are you keeping score? So, of course, there's some things that you can't really measure that easily. But keeping score or keeping track, having a means of feedback that is very clear, it works wonders for your motivation because you can monitor your progress in a way that makes sense to you. And it's difficult yeah, it's difficult to maintain your motivation when you don't have a clear way to measure or clear way to tell how it is that you're doing. So for this prompt, I want you to think about something that matters to you, that you are um, pursuing, or something that you are engaged in on a regular basis, a journey that you're on that is of some sort of consequence to you. I mean, it only needs to matter to you, but it needs to matter to you. How are you keeping score? How are you measuring your progress? How do you know that you are on the right path? So let me open up the request box. I know that there's a lot of value in being present and being fully aware and in the moment, and not worrying about, not being too preoccupied with what's to come. But I think that it can be very disconcerting to not know where you stand, not to be able to fully acknowledge or recognize the progress that you've made. It makes it difficult to always understand what the next step is going to be if you haven't kind of figured out some sort of way to tell, okay, this was going in a positive direction. This is going more towards what matters to me. And maybe this was kind of a step to the side or a step back. So how are you keeping score? How are you measuring your progress for the things that matter the most to you? So sometimes there are kind of stats that are just objective stats that you can just keep track of. I know that for Berlin, who is creating on YouTube, it's easy to keep score. You see your views, you see your subscribers, you see the comments and the feedback, and those are kind of very solid things. For many things that we do, the results are more qualitative. They're more about a story and less about a specific number or milestone. But story, um, but stories are a way to keep a score as well. So think about that. Nick says, you want to soak in the tub and listen? Hey, that could be a vibe. That could be a vibe. Next, Barry is here. Good morning, Barry. Thank you for joining us. Old Pony is going to hit the trail. It's always great to see you, Old Pony. Hope you have a great day. So I know that a lot of us, there's a lot of creative folks in here. So if you're a writer, sometimes you track your word count, your daily word count. Okay, I know I've checked the box on this thing that's important for me today. Or you might be on a fitness journey and you're thinking about getting a certain number of steps in every day. I know that this is going to contribute to my overall sense of well-being. In an academic context, you got grades. So there are a lot of things, in many cases, the structures are set up for us. We are used to going, from second grade to third grade. We know the next step is third grade. But once we get out of academic context, sometimes we go into a corporate context where we, get promoted to certain levels. Nick's Rock says, I'm on a chocolate journey. Can't wait to order that Christmas fudge. Barry says, I had a total of 7 steps yesterday. That might not be enough. You might need to move your body a little bit there, Barry. I'm just saying. Quasha says, I'm not keeping score, and that's my issue. Mm, yeah. So, like, yeah, it can be difficult. Say it can be difficult to figure out, well, what is a way that I can keep score? What is a way that I can keep track? How can I have a meaningful method of feedback that will allow me to continuously improve? Because that's what it's really about. The score is not necessarily about the score, it's about the feedback that you get. And feedback is so critical for feedback is so critical for sort of for motivation, you know? So Nick's Rock says by keeping a journal, yeah, that's very much a narrative scorecard. Vita Hermosa says, are we really supposed to keep track though? Supposed to? I don't get what you mean by keeping score. Well, I think that in a cosmic sense, in a universal sense, you play the game to play the game. You're present, you're existing for the time that you're here. And that's true sort of on a universal level. But if you have a desire to, um, or if you feel like you have a mission that you're here to accomplish, then having some sort of way that can let you know what your progress is, I think is extremely valuable. I mean, there's some unhealthy scorecards, right? You can choose the wrong one. Like for instance, you could choose in some cases, some people use money as a scorecard, which is fine. And it may be okay, but it may not necessarily be a reflection of what's most important. So if you set the right means of providing feedback and understanding what your progress is, then it can move you in a direction that's more healthy and more aligned with what's possible for you. So, supposed to, maybe you're not supposed to. Is it helpful? It might be helpful, right? It might be a useful tool if you're not so attached to it that you're obsessed over it. But it's like an orientation device, it's like a compass. So you said you're keeping score with my counselor and God, and what are you keep and what exactly is it that you are keeping score of? So just to kind of say more, I guess we can share. You said my life has been so jacked that there's no score to keep. Everything and everyone is out of my hands except for me, just trying to stay alive. So do you think that there is a path is there a path to something that you would consider to be better? It's worth thinking about. It's just I think it's a matter of what you are, you know, thinking in terms of what you are creating versus what you are settling for. You have this capacity. I think we all have a capacity to be creative and generative. We're kind of built that way. So what would move you to a place that's more creative and generative? I mean, there's like areas. You got your physical health, your emotional and mental health, your spiritual health, you know. Noble says, I keep score like an adventure in a role-playing game by the treasures I find, the encounters I deal with, the successes I get with each win, from the encounters that I deal with in a day. So Nick's Rocks. So I appreciate those conversations. The conversation that's going on in the chat about mentors and people to help you work towards things. My path is to no longer allow what others do affect me. What doesn't align with me, I will reject. I think that in order, that's a very powerful place to stand in. And what it requires is a very keen level of self awareness. Goose is in the building. What's up, Goose? Loli is back. All right. Noble is such a creative, has a creative way of seeing the world. And I think that um, it is definitely a way thinking about things, you know, thinking about things through the metaphor of the game of life and the adventure of the day can be a powerful way to spark your gratitude and awareness. So Vita Hermosa says, staying aligned with myself will help me keep score. For sure. Kaloli is here to sleep, which is perfectly fine. Goose, what's up? Thank you so much for the like. I appreciate you. So for Iyi, on how I feel, I love through tough, and I haven't had that connection in a while. So right now I'm living with it. School, saving up, work, friends are all on autopilot. Okay, I live I lived through some tough things and I haven't had that connection in a while. So you're just kind of living with that lack of connection, but everything else is on autopilot. Goose says, what are we working on? Goose, we are thinking about the ways that we keep score. How are you keeping score? How are you measuring your progress on the things that matter the most to you? Kaloli went from Hawaii to Alaska and is dealing with the stark difference. Oh, Esso says that my heart keeps count. My heart keeps count. So you listen to your heart, it can let you know. Listening to your heart. That sort of goes along with what Vida Hermosa says in terms of being aligned. It's almost like an intuitive understanding and a intuitive knowing of, okay, this doesn't feel right, but this feels right. I guess to make that um, to make that scorecard something that you can use effectively is making sure that you do listen and that you you do check in and that you do record and document your heart's journey. Lethal is in the building. Welcome in, Lethal. Thank you so much for joining us. We're thinking about all the different ways that we can keep score. I know as much as we want to, we play for fun, and it's great to just be present and live and be. And it's important to, sometimes you can feel a little bit lost. And if there is something, and specifically, if we put it in the context of everything that we've been talking about, from the things that times we bit off more than we can chew, or the things that we might have lost enthusiasm for, keeping score or understanding how to keep score. Score is a way, sort of an antidote to that loss of enthusiasm for the things that really matter to us. Not the things that we rightfully should let go, but the things that we know would make our life a little bit better. If we can find a way to measure where we are or orient ourselves in a direction, then we may float, but maybe not so aimlessly. Steve is here. Hold Up TV is in the building. Thank you so much for joining us, Steve. I hope that you're hope you had a good weekend and that you are ready for the journey ahead. Always nice to have you. So Goose says, wing it. I mean, you're a goose. As a bird, why not wing it? Sometimes for every win, there's a loss, but if you brush your shoulders and keep moving, you're still a boss. So we had to be bars with it, huh? Yeah. So you have to find a way. You have to find a way to stay engaged. And that's sort of, it's not even about the score necessarily. The score is just a tool, right? It's just a tool to keep you engaged. Tree says, currently I keep score by seeing my grades. So far, I have all A's in my classes, and I'm ready for the next semester. That's a good score. A's will work. We'll take it. Everybody, I don't know what's a good emoji to put. I guess applause in the chat for Tree and those good marks. All right. Taking a couple deep breaths here. I want to say just take a moment to say thanks and some quick shout outs. If you have more to say on this, please feel free to keep it going. But I just wanted to say once again, thanks each and every one of you who have joined the session so far. We got about 15 minutes left or so before we head out of here. But I wanted to sort of acknowledge some of the cool folks that we have in the building this morning, and let you know some other places that you may want to go. If you're listening on Spoon, a lot of the folks are on Spoon right now, and you can definitely check them out. I'll say for myself, Morning Journal, I'll plug myself first. This is every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah, we do this. So if you've been here and you've enjoyed this, you can check me out Monday through Friday right here on Spoon. Also on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all the places. You can hang out with us and participate in this conversation. It's a lot of fun to have you here. Other creators who are kind of here with us right now, we have Mo, who is the host of Go to Work and Make Friends. Uh, these are variety streams on the Spoon app. You can also find Mo on Twitch at Mo Sucks, where you might catch an art making stream or a simulcast of another stream. Always good times there. Uh, Mo is also the co-host of the Emmy and Mo Show, which is a variety show that has been revamped, reborn, and I'm excited to see the direction that it goes. That's on Spoon and maybe coming to other platforms too. We'll see. But that's on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the Emmy and Mo Show. Also, we have in the house creators. We have in the house. We have DJ Prodigy, real DJ, going to give you live mixes every morning for the wake up stream. That usually happens mid morning. So make sure you check out DJ Prodigy. We have Quasha, who is a really funny and talented voice actress, comedian, podcaster. Not sure what the schedule is, but if you're in the stream, make sure you say hi to Quasha and stay tuned for the content that they have coming out. We got Kaloli, Lowly Needles. I haven't seen short jams from Kaloli in a while, but Kaloli is a talented singer, songwriter. Well, singer, I don't know if Kaloli writes songs, definitely. Like, wrote the song for Fred the Fish. So yeah, definitely singer, songwriter. Really fun campfire vibes. So make sure you follow Lowly Needles on Spoon and also on Green Room. I'm not sure where else. We have the Hold Up TV in the house. Hold Up TV. You can find Request Box Live on Green Room. Maybe coming to Station Head. I think the kinks might be out of the situation on there. Also, Conversations That Matter. One of the best interviewers and guides of conversations that you'll find around. So that's the Hold Up TV. Make sure you give them a holler. Also, creators, we got, of course, DT Dub TV. You can follow DT Dub TV on YouTube, Berlin here on Spoon. Make sure if you're on YouTube, you can just look through the comments and follow DT Dub TV. Other creators, we have Esso, who is the reigning queen of accountability. You can follow Esso to get a little bit of support and encouragement on those projects that you've been putting off. You can check out Esso usually mid-afternoon on the East Coast, or noon Pacific, with sort of a stream to give you some momentum towards getting your day started. Just kind of hang out and make friends and enjoy those vibes. Last but certainly not least, not even last. Not even last. We got Bex, the Pink Princess of Spoon, one of my longest time friends on the app. You might catch a cast. There's a conversation that Bex has going on right now about how come we don't got no Black teen comedies anymore? Where they at though? So make sure you check out Bex. Check out Bex's profile and weigh in on that talk. How come there ain't no Black teen comedies no more? And if you think back, when was your last one? What's the last one you remember? And then, of course, we have our number one supporter, our longtime manager, Tree, who is the host of the Treehouse. These are variety hangout streams that typically happen on the weekend. The schedule's a little bit in the air. Mama Tree's around. So, the schedule's a little bit different, but when you catch the Treehouse live, you can catch some improv, maybe 21 questions. Tree's going to get in your business in the most loving and curious and interesting way. So make friends with folks. It is an 18 plus stream. So be grown if you're going to go up in there, but definitely go in there. Um, Go in there and make some friends. All right. Goose says everyone hates Chris. We did talk about black teen comedies. Everyone hates Chris is one that comes to mind. Tree steady making it snow. It's so chilly in here, Tree. I need to put my hoodie on if you keep making it snow like that. All right. I think we might be ready for our last prompt of the day. So let's get it. We want to try to make it present and practical and affirming. Noble Ancient. I don't know how I missed Noble Ancient. I didn't see you in the list. Yeah, before we leave the plugs, we get the extra special shout out to Noble Ancient. Gamer Shop is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's Gamer Shop with Noble Ancient. Also, Alexis Autumn Elf is going to be live on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So 3 nights a week, you can get Noble and Alexis. So, all right, last prompt of the day. What can you get excited about today? What can you get excited about today? Again, this is sort of a nod to the fact that we listed all of these different practices and routines that we have sort of in our toolkit. And you might not be feeling great right now. You might not have a lot of enthusiasm for what's in front of you. But we also have sort of this innate ability to, our emotional state is not something that is always just imposed on us. We do have a little bit of power to direct our attention in a way that can lead to a more positive and productive mind state, a level of excitement. So, getting excited. Sigma says, I'm getting excited about learning stonks. Uh-oh, Sigma's gonna learn some stonks. Goose is excited about the stomach virus hopefully ending. Nick says binging on Hulu or Netflix, coffee with the cat, and sleep. So somebody give Nick's Rocks some recommendations. What's the recommendation for Hulu or Netflix? Sigma and Noble having an interesting exchange about success and failure. Failings equals success. Fall forward. Failing means giving up before you try hard enough. All right. So EE says, I'm excited about going back to bed before I go to work. Let me tell you something. I think so. This is one of my favorite 2 hours of any day that I can ever think of was when I was in the Army. We would get up and we would do PT. I mean, it'd be really, really early. Do the PT, come back, take a shower, and let's say I was working the afternoon shift because I was a cook. But after PT, coming back, and before before I had to get up and go in, oh my goodness. Nothing beats that nap before you have to go. It's almost like when you wake up in the middle of the night and it's a lot earlier than you think it is and you still got time. So Tree is excited about playing with my GoPro and also editing, the editing program, cooking some kimchi soup. Man, I wish I could have some kimchi. Beck says, my friend and I are making dinner tonight using cannabis butter. This should be fun. You're going to get high on. uh, I love it. Oh, Tree, I love kimchi. Noble says, I am excited about actively getting more games done and finding ways to keep my illustrator busy and happy. I love kimchi, not kitchen. Kimchi. Did I say kitchen? I mean, you know what you know what I meant. All right. Noble, getting more work, getting more games done. Steve, I'm excited about getting through the workday and having tomorrow off. Love that. Nix is excited about practicing on the new guitar. It's so important to have something to look forward to. Like, I think in the long run, our mental health so heavily is so heavily affected by having something to look forward to. You know. So Nick's just got Fender electric acoustic. That's what's up. So we got 3 minutes left, according to Noble. And I really want to say thanks everyone for hanging out. It's been so cool to have you here. Morning Journal. I got my tiger in the background. He's cute. Tree, thank you so much for making it snow all morning long. Perfect for the season. I know if you're listening on Spoon, you hear the theme song, you know what time it is. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. This has been session number 156. I hope y'all had a good time. I feel a little bit scattered because I got too many. I have 4 screens in front of me. So I feel like I was looking all over the place, but I hope that everyone had a great time and it's been a great conversation for you. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Eastern time to do this thing again. I hope that y'all have a beautiful Monday and a great week if I don't see you again. And don't forget, you can check me out on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook if you know me like that. The link to all of you can stalk me all over the internet. Just click the link in the notice and you can find me there. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. I didn't see a request from you, Mo. I would add you. I didn't see a request from you. I don't know what you want to tell me. I don't know what I'm tell you. Oh, peace, y'all.